I'm glad you're joining me today. We're going to talk about hearing God, a brand new series of messages for the next several weeks. I hope you can listen to all of them. I hope you can tell a friend and have them to log on and listen to it as well. Remember, if you're watching from the Facebook page, these are all on our website, www.freedomword.org, and also they're on our YouTube channel, so you can look for us under Freedom Word Church on YouTube. So we hope that you can share these messages with other people. One of the greatest blessings and one of the greatest benefits of being a believer is that we come into a relationship of spiritual life with God. Now, what does that mean? Well, when we're not born again and before we're ever saved, we are what we would call spiritually dead. And that doesn't mean we don't exist. It means that we're not alive unto God, and that means that we're not connected to God. I like to think of it this way. Adam, before the fall, had a light bulb inside him. And this, of course, is just a parable, but just follow along with me. Adam had this light bulb on the inside. It came all the way out. It was illuminating how he lived. It made everything to be right. When he sinned, when he fell, the light bulb went off. Now all the wiring's there, the bulb's still there, there's just no power to it. The light's gone off. And when we're born again, when we are made right with God, we're made a new creature, 2 Corinthians 5:17. And in essence, the light bulb comes back on. And so in us is this ability to be able to communicate with God. And so one of the most important things you'll ever develop in your life is the ability and the skill of hearing God. There's a verse in the book of Exodus, chapter 15 and verse 26, and I want to read that for you, where that Moses was being used by God to speak to the children of Israel. And you'll have to pardon me as I find this. I had it marked, but my marker fell out and I lost my place. But this is so important, I don't want you to miss it. In Exodus chapter 15 and verse number 26, the word says to us, and I'll find it here, and said, that's God saying, if you diligently heed, or the old King James says, hearken to the voice of the Lord your God, and do what is right in his sight, give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put or allow, that's permissive tense verb, none of the diseases on you which I've allowed on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord that heals you. The thing that's important that I want us to see here is this aspect of listening or hearkening, or the New King James says diligently heed. In the Hebrew, it's a rather odd phrase. It's listening. It's kind of like listening on two levels, and that's exactly what we as born again, alive spiritually people do. We learn to listen, obviously on a natural level. You're hearing my words now. You could hear music, you could hear a car, you could hear all kinds of noise and sounds. That's natural listening with these ears. But there is a level of listening that's available to a believer whereby we are hearing on the inside what the Lord is saying. And that's what we are going to be talking about for several weeks. And let me give you just a little tidbit for next week, and we'll get into it then. The first way that we hear from God is through his written word. As we hear the word, whether we're quoting it, whether we're reading it aloud, or we're hearing someone else read it, that's the most basic way we hear from God. Remember this, God and his word are one. God will never contradict his word. So this is the authority. This is the final judge for everything that we do and everything that we believe. So learn to listen to God and begin by listening to his word.